Child Impact International is an organization giving hope. Previously called Asian Aid, Child Impact International is an organization fostering permanent positive change in the lives of disadvantaged children and their communities. Child Impact is committed to making a difference in the lives of children and those who are in need, serving communities in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and will soon expand to other countries. For the last 50 years, Child Impact has invested in the futures of people, and their investment has proven infinite returns. Driven by the dedication to helping those who have the least, Child Impact is an organization focused on the welfare of children, implementing diverse development projects, and sponsoring thousands of children. Their outreach spans from child rescue operations to providing an education for orphans, deaf, and the blind children, giving them a sense of place, a home. But above all, Child Impact is an organization giving hope to children, giving hope to communities, giving hope to the ones who need it the most. This is Hope in Motion.
In remote villages in India, where poverty is a way of life, going to a school and receiving an education can have a dramatic impact on a child's life, especially a girl child. Child Impact International has been sponsoring children's education in India for nearly 10 years now, focusing on helping children from poor backgrounds attend Adventist schools. The Emmanuel English School in Jeypore, in the state of Odisha, is one such school where Child Impact has made a real difference.
One of the schools that we're really proud of, a school where the donors have made a real difference, is the Emmanuel School at Jeypore. I think it's got over 700 children. And those children are getting a quality of education. They're well disciplined, they're wearing a uniform. But the amazing thing is that they come from very poor tribal areas. And this school was established with that in mind, that it would take children from poor tribal areas who really don't have much of a chance and give them a reasonable quality education. And that's what Jeypore does.
Jeypore and most parts of Odisha come under the so-called tribal belt of India, where people live unaffected by civilizing influences, largely cut off from the mainstream societies. They live in remote regions with little or no basic amenities. Life is a struggle, and the plight of the children from these communities can only be described as deplorable. Sending their children to school is not in the minds of parents who struggle to provide the needs for their children. Sulochana Diadi is a 10th grade student at the school. She comes from Litiput, a small tribal village about 30 minutes' drive from the school. Her parents are farmers who own a small patch of land, cultivating whatever is possible during the monsoon season.
He says he has a half acre of land where they grow vegetables and some crops. When they are done with their work, both husband and wife go to find some odd jobs to support the family.
The family has 4 girls, and out of these 2 are studying in our school and 2 are at home. And in Indian culture, if there are girls in the family, it is a matter of concern, especially when they don't have money, when they are poor. And the parents find it difficult to educate them. And the girls don't have any option. They grow up. When they grow up, when they are little bigger, even those girls who remain with parents, they too go with them as daily laborers. And once they attain certain age, then they get them married.
Sulochana is the oldest of 4 girls in the family. In a gender-biased world, bringing up 4 little girls in a rural community can be a burden, for the parents and girls grow up with all the pressures of the society. But education can change these perceptions and make them more aware of the world outside.
Education can transform a girl child. Sulochana and her sister who are getting educated in our institution, their lives are transformed. They no longer will depend on the parents. They no longer will depend on the traditions that they need to get married at a certain age. They have their own choice. They study and they have a good future. They can earn. And so they are not dependent on the parents, but they become independent. And in turn, they are the ones who will be able to guide these illiterate and poor parents.
A sense of freedom and self-belief that education instills in a child is there for everyone to see. For the school administration and teachers to see their students grow into fine young men and women is gratifying, and they are proud of the association they have with these children.
The first time I met Sulochana, she was very small girl and she was shy. But as I see her, she is growing into a very young woman and very active. She takes part in all the school activities. And 1 year she served as a sick monitor, took good care of the sick girls. And she is very helpful to her little sister who is also studying in this school. And I'm so happy to say that I see a lot of development in her.
Although Sulochana's parents, like many in rural India, struggle to earn $2 a day and cannot afford to send their children to school, they do view education as a catalyst for change.
In a developing country, it's very hard to break the poverty cycle. And one of the key ways of giving a child a chance to break that poverty cycle is giving them an education. The reality is if they don't have that education, they're really locked into what's available back in the village. And the reality, not a lot. So the education gives them a chance of breaking out into a far better career, job, which once again impacts their family because most of them do give money back to their family once they get a job.
Often these parents have not had an education themselves, so understanding the value of education is not there either. So often these families don't promote education, don't support them. When these children come home from school, can they do any homework with them? No, they don't have the ability. So the ability for these families, the really poor families, to help the child is non-existent. They are striving, they're struggling to get food to eat. If they get 1 meal a day, they're doing well. So where's the opportunity for them to help the child to break out? So child impact helps these children who really don't have a supporting environment. Not that the parents don't want to, they just don't know how to. So Child Impacts gives these children the opportunity to make the difference.
Today, over 3,000 children in India are sponsored by Child Impact. And because of their commitment to the welfare of children, especially children from tribal communities and villages, these children are reaping the benefits of an Adventist education.
Without sponsorship, many of the poor children, and especially Adventist children, they'll remain backward, they'll remain illiterate. There have been so many requests of Adventist parents coming and requesting for sponsorship. So many times we just refuse, saying that there is no sponsorship and without fees we cannot keep them because school can't afford to educate. We are educating a few of them, but we cannot educate many of them. And that is why we need sponsorship, and without sponsorship, these children will not have a future.
Sulochana and her sister Mamita have been sponsored by Child Impact ever since they came to live and attend school at a manual English school in Jeypore. For girls like Sulochana, attending school and receiving an education is a blessing, and without sponsorship, she and her sister would face an uncertain future.
He says they are very happy that their two children, somebody is helping them to study. And he says with his financial problem, he would have never been able to send his two daughters to the school. And he is so thankful to whoever is helping them for their studies. And he is grateful to them, and he says that I pray to the God to bless them and give them good health and strength.
Mamita Malik lives with her grandparents. She lost her mother when she was just a little baby, and her father abandoned her. When a child is orphaned or abandoned at such a young age, the unfortunate burden of caring for them falls upon their elderly grandparents, who barely have any means to support them.
This is Mamita's grandmother. Her daughter was married, and when the baby was born, after 6 months, the in-laws and husband started ill-treating Mamita's mother. So the grandparents brought their daughter and Mamita to their home. And after a year, she fell sick and had a kidney problem, so she died.
Seeing the elderly couple struggle with their granddaughter, a government employee from the village who had knowledge about the Adventist boarding school at Jeypore suggested Mamita be taken there. Like a majority of students at Emmanuel School, Mamita received sponsorship through Child Impact.
Well, sponsorship obviously gives the child an education, but it has a real impact on the family. You can't imagine living in poverty, struggling day to day to feed your children. So first of all, the parents are just so excited that their child's getting an education, but it also brings relief to the family because in many cases the children go to boarding school, and so they know their child is being fed, they know their child is being looked after. And then when the child comes back to the village, they have a stronger willingness to work. And in fact, when they come back as older students, they can do things around the village. They can help with English. They can help people with computers. It has a dramatic effect on the impact of the family and in turn the community.
Grandparents like this, it is quite difficult to take care of their grandchildren who have no parents. So if Mamita would not be in the school, she would just go for manual labor when she is at the age of working, and later on when the time would have come for marriage, that's the life. There would be no bright future if she didn't have the opportunity to study in a school.
Life in rural India is simple. During the day, people either go to the fields or graze what little livestock they have. There is a clear order of social precedence based on gender, and women have little or no say in its structure, often leading to unjust practices and misery. If it weren't for Emmanuel School and the timely intervention of Child Impact, girls like Mamita and Salochana would have seen misfortunes of so many young girls like them in their villages.
So, what do you want to do when you finish your studies?
I want to be a nurse.
Nurse?
Yes.
Why?
Because my grandmother aim is that to.
Oh, your grandmother's aim is that you become a nurse.
Yes.
Okay. And what would you like to tell your sponsors? You know, if they say this, what would you like to tell them?
I like to thank them from the bottom of my heart, because when I was small, from that time they take care of me, and when I came here, they helped me. For that time only I'm here. If they could not help me, I could not be here in this time, because my parents, they cannot pay any money. For that I thank them from the heart.
Salochana's emotions are testimony to what a simple gesture of sponsoring a child's education can achieve. To our sponsors at Child Impact, we thank you for your generosity. Every smile we get to see on the face of a child, every anxiety removed from a parent's life, and every folded hand that are grateful bear witness to your kindness and goodwill. Thank you. You are making a difference.
I just got a letter from our sponsor daughter, Sheila. I've got to tell you, there is nothing like getting one of these letters. Our family has been able to sponsor her through Child Impact International. And because of that, she's got a great place to live. She's got good food. She's got great clothing. Best of all, I now found out she's in college. She's in nursing school. There's nothing like getting a letter like this. You need to start getting these letters too. Listen, through Child Impact, you can make a huge difference in the life of a child. And I promise you, it's going to make a huge difference in your life too.